Hey. Fear doesn't live here. No. Fear doesn't live here no more. It had to get the fuck up and walk out that door. Fear doesn't live here. Fear doesn't live here no more. No, fear doesn't live here. Fear doesn't live here. Fear doesn't live here. So I feel like the $1 million question to a lot of people that may know me and be like, well, how does she go homeless? Let me try and finally tell you, because I tried to sit down and record this video many times throughout the last few years, and I have never been able to get through it or get my mind settled. I don't know. So, how did I go homeless? So, as you know, if you know, I am married. I am separated. I've been separated for maybe 2 years now. But while I was married, I loved being married. I love being married. I love being a wife. I've always wanted to be a mother. Like, I woke up every day happy to be a wife. Like, up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., I'm gonna make you breakfast, or I'm gonna make sure dinner's ready. Like, I love doing those things. Like, I love cooking and cleaning for the most part until after I had a kid. Then things got a little wonky, but yeah, I mean, I was really blessed, honestly. I won't deny that. Like, I was blessed. I loved the life that I had. I loved that my husband took care of me, for the most part. He took care of things. I really didn't have to worry about a lot. So I think God had to teach me some lessons. But what I also give myself grace for is that as a wife, I love to work. I didn't like working for 9-to-5 jobs, but I love working for myself. And if you've been here, then you know that. You know that I've always had my own business for a long time. I've always been running my own business. I've always been making my own money. And at times, I've even made more money than my husband. However, at the last bit, when I used to live in, right before I moved back to Virginia and Florida, I was at a really good, like, I was at a peak. I had just dropped my jade collection. I had a lot of orders for my handmade jewelry, my crystals. Everything was in a really good flow. But then I started struggling with postpartum depression. I stopped being able to really put out orders as much as quickly. I couldn't really keep up with demand. I was moving. I was supposed to open up a store. I was keeping it on the hush at the time, where I had an investor. So I thought, maybe now looking back, I'm like, it just wasn't as professional as I thought. But I have someone that was selling me a dream that they were going to help me open up this smoothie bar, this smoothie shop on High Street in Portsmouth. And when I moved here, I had this whole goal that we were going to be sitting down and talking how to open this shop up and getting it open. I was buying inventory for it. Just genuinely preparing for, wow, I'm finally about to accomplish my first dream, which was opening my smoothie bar, and being able to sell my spiritual products. However, the day of our meeting, I'm getting no response. And then he's like, basically like, I'm sorry, I can't move forward anymore because my business partner, AKA the girl I think he was dealing with, maybe his wife, maybe his girlfriend, I don't know, just didn't think it aligned with him anymore. So they dropped out, and I was stuck with thousands of dollars that I had wasted putting into inventory, trying to maneuver what was supposed to go into a full shop for myself into my mother-in-law's hair shop so that I could store my inventory somewhere, while also allowing myself to just maybe start smaller than I thought and connect with people. So I was just allowing myself to pivot, like take the punches and pivot, like, okay, cool, like whatever, I'll keep it moving. But it just kept knocking me down. I couldn't get to my shop for months, even though I had started to open it. I couldn't really be there because I had to still watch my daughter full time, and I was very particular about homeschooling her and having her at home, which I was blessed again to have that space and be able to do that, because I think she's bright, beautiful, and smart. Yeah, good. Oh yeah, it's cold now. Because I got to have that time with her and pour into her the way I've always wanted for the first few years of her life. I lost my train of thought a little bit. Anyways, I had to stay home a lot. And moving back, my husband was not home as much. He was out more, partying more at his family's house more. That left me home alone with our child more. Left me to not be able to attend to my business as much. So I ended up having to shut things down. Basically I started to get, into the thoughts like, okay, something's off, I had been struggling. I wasn't working. I had basically made the plan with him that I wasn't going to be working towards my business as much for a few months because I needed to get my mental under control. And in those few months, I had my business, all that was falling apart. And then I found out that he was, to me, cheating. But my ancestors revealed one day I woke up and I had already been asking him. I was like, I'm not really big on going through the phone anymore, but I was like, asking for answers. What is that passcode, y'all? Like, it's something going on. I woke up one morning and spirit just woke me up. I woke up out of nowhere. And they just said, get up. I'm like, get up, okay. And I feel like my ancestors guided me into my room, to my daughter's room where my husband was, and his phone was just laying open, no passcode needed. So I was shook. So I'm like, okay. I get the phone. And I'm like, well, guide me. Tell me where to go. Because I don't know what to do at this point. I'm shook. I'm sweating. I'm shaky. I'm looking. I don't see nothing in the messages. And my mind's like, even if it was, like, he's smart enough to cover his tracks. So, like, really show me. So something just said, I just got quiet and just said Instagram. So I went to my Instagram. I didn't see nothing. And then I was just like, okay, what? Spirit got quiet again. Spirit said, open the thing. I clicked the top and he had a secret profile. So I go into the secret profile and he's only talking to one person. So mind you, I've been breastfeeding our child for almost 2 years. I had just had my first time away from my husband and my daughter after a whole year and a half. I had never been away from them. I'm a new mother and I'm coming back and I'm finding these things and looking and seeing that he's trying to like link up with her. I don't know. I think they FaceTimed or something. Either way, like it's inappropriate. I'm like, I just had your baby. Back up. Nope. Not right now. Wait till I'm done. So I'm obviously like in shock and starting to accept like, what the fuck? My husband's out here trying to link up with like someone from his past on Instagram and I just had his baby and I'm all fucked up in the head. So that was hard. So I ended up going to a ghetto. I ended up leaving to one of my friend's house. I ended up going to Richmond, stay there. It was like a getaway. I stayed there with my daughter for a few days, maybe a week or something, because I think it snowed. And in that time, it was so chaotic because I had to carry so much. Like, I had a baby in one hand, and I'm carrying luggage and, like, damn near everything I tried to pack to stay with us over a snowstorm over a weekend in a house that wasn't ours with a new baby that was, like, 1 year old. So, you have tons of stuff. You still got diapers, wipes, clothes, all types of things. So I'm having to carry my baby, carry luggage up these stairs and walkways. Up at Richmond, it's crazy how the apartments are set up. Like, so I'm having to do that multiple trips. I'm distraught. I'm crying. It was just traumatic, right? So then I'm finally settled. We're in there. Finally, cool. Super mom is done with. Got all the things in the house, in the apartment. We're settled. I'm starting to, my friend was like, take a bath, take a bubble bath, unwind, because you just found out your husband's cheating on you and you've been you just were trying to kill yourself like a few months ago. So, unwind. So we stayed there for a few days. Like I said, it's a snowstorm. So then they told me to like turn on the heat and stuff. And I'm like, you sure? Like, we're good. No, turn on the heat, get comfortable. Cool. Okay, whatever. At this point, sometimes when you're distraught, you're just listening to what people tell you to do. Like, okay. So in that midst of time though, it was good. It was what I needed. It was a little anxious because it was a new home. So, a home that's not yours when you have a child is different because they got bleach and cleaning products out. So I had baby-proofed the house. That upset them when they got back. I ended up getting hit with like a bill of charges of like $200 that I owed them for my stay there for the heat that I used that I was told to put on. Like crazy shit. That was just like, what the fuck are y'all on? So friendships started falling apart for me. Even other friendships that I tried to stay with later on. So this is all before I started going homeless, y'all, actually. So this is just before when I found out my husband was cheating and things started going downhill. So mind you, I had no job. I've been working for myself for months. I was on a break, so income wasn't coming in like that, like it had been. Hold on. I'm excited to just get all this off, get it off my chest. If anybody ever asks me, I'm just send them this video and be like, this is my trauma. This is where it came from. Watch this video because I'm so over holding this fucking weight. It's not even funny. So anyways, stuff like that was just happening. Like little things like revelations of people around me were just kind of like, I'm going through a really shitty time and what are y'all doing? So in the midst of finding all this out, I started to kind of like tell myself, no, at first I'm gonna leave, this has to be done. But then I started like, okay, well maybe if he fights for us, then I'll give him a chance, because it's not like he had sex with her, not that I know of. So I'm just rationalizing like, okay, I can make this family work if he fights for us. He never fought for us. He never fought, he never apologized, never took accountability, none of those things. So I ended up having to accept like, okay, this is really done. Then I ended up finding out he was getting deployed. In that time, I had bad credit. He kept telling me, I guess, to get a job. I don't remember that, but I'm pretty sure it's possible. But at the time, I also was just very much like, my business is gonna make it. Like I'm good. Like I was good. It didn't cross my mind that I wouldn't be. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna hustle. Like I know how to hustle. I know how to work. You know, if I gotta make money, then I just gotta work more. So I did that. I started working. I overworked and had her. By the time he left, I didn't have a resume done. I was unprepared. At this point, I take full blame because I don't know where my mind was, and I don't even care to argue about my stance. Like I just take full blame that I fucked up at that point. I should have did my resume. I should have started applying for jobs. I should have listened that he was gonna leave me and just like started getting my life. I did not. I don't know. I'm so sorry to myself that I didn't. But I didn't. I just kept hustling. I just kept running my business. And then when he deployed, and I was like money was still not coming in. And I could not find a place. I did not have good credit. So I was like, okay, like, are you gonna, can you help me? I was asking my parents. I was asking my husband, like, is there any way that you can help me transition? Like, help get us into a new place, whatever. No. So we ended up having like a few months left on this lease that he had been, because he paid our rent. Being married, he obviously used to pay my rent, paid where we stayed for me, my child, whatever. So we had a few months left on this lease. He paid the rent, but he was deployed and he was not sending me anything else. Mind you, I still had to feed this child. I still had to get her diapers and wipes, and we still needed to get out the house some days so that I didn't go crazy and she could like experience life while she was 1 years old, going to 2 years old, still needing to like learn and do things, So having to navigate that with not a lot of funds. So because I wasn't getting sent money, I started having to be a little bit tap into my crazy and calling jobs and getting help and seeking assistance and making him have to pay some sort of a child support while he was gone. And I started selling stuff. Like I just started selling my wedding ring. I started selling, he had left. I told him because he said he was moving out to take all his stuff, and anything that he left was fair game. And he left a bunch of shoes thinking that I wasn't serious, because that's just like what he got. He just started taking everything I said as like a useless threat, because I am overly nice. I try to give a motherfucker chances to change before I have to be mean, but people don't do it. But anyways, so I started selling all his stuff. I started selling all his most important prized possessions of shoes so that I could buy diapers and buy food and stuff. So anyways, none of that worked for long. I ended up losing, again, everything. I think I went to my mom's house a little bit, but I had like a time limit that I was able to stay there for 2 weeks, and then I had to figure it out. Then I ended up going to a friend's house and staying on their couch for like 2 days, but then I had car issues, and I reached out to my family, and they all told me that I should have had things figured out. I should have had a job, and they couldn't help me. So I was just like, okay. I ended up calling a friend, one of my old high school best friends, letting her know what was going on. Like, I needed help. Like, I don't know what to do. Luckily, my daughter was going back with her dad for a while because he was coming back from his deployment. So it was like, my family was like, we're not helping you. Your daughter's about to go with her dad. You're about to figure this shit out. So I went to Georgia to go stay with a friend of mine. I was supposed to maybe stay there for like a week. I ended up staying there for like a month. A blessing, but that ended up tearing our friendship apart. I don't even know how we got out of it good. However, it's like when I finally moved into a new place and like came to visit me, ended up being like I feel a type of way because you're not, I think because I wasn't there for her. I honestly still can't remember what happened or how that fell apart, but I wasn't there for one of my friends somehow, but I mentally couldn't be. And that's kind of I didn't have an excuse. Like, babe, I'm going through a divorce. I'm struggling. I'm broke. I have no money coming in for real. Like, I'm at a shitty point in my life. So I can't be the strong friend for you right now. So that ended real dramatically. Like, she left in the middle of the night, got a hotel because I couldn't, like, I didn't have anything really to say. Like, I didn't even have the energy to fight about it. Like, it was just I was kind of disappointed that she was bringing it to me because I really had no more space to hold for shit like that. And I mean, I could be wrong, I don't know, but I didn't. So that ended up, you know, dropping to the wayside as well. Yeah, so long story short, I had nothing. So then finally, when, you know, she was kind of like, you know, I need to go. Like, the time is up. And I understood that too. Like, I needed to make some shit shake. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm about to just go to Virginia and I'm going to go to a homeless shelter. Like, I'm trying to avoid the fall and I just need to accept it. Like, I got to accept that I have to go to the homeless shelter. I have to go and be homeless and really, like, have the full experience, I guess, because I'm trying to fight it and nothing's happening for me. Like, I was working like a psychic job, like little stuff. And I was also like, that's when I started stepping into my power of taking phone sessions on my business. I was always scared of that, but I had started. So I was getting bookings. It just, my price wasn't what it needed to be. I was too scared to charge my price. So I'm learning all these lessons about myself and my business at the same time of being at my lowest. So I know why I'm going through these things because I'm having to, like, be pushed into a certain place, but it doesn't take away the feeling and the emotions, the experience, and all these things I had to still go through. But so yeah. So I finally decided, like, okay, we're going to go to the homeless shelter. We're going. Start driving. And I had this one guy that I was in love with at the time. He did not know what was going on because, again, I was just too proud to tell you what was going on. So I'm literally going through all this stuff, like, secretively in a sense. But then I finally expressed to him what was happening. He's kind of like, the fuck? Thrown off. But then he allows me to come and stay with him. So I'm on my way to the homeless shelter. I had applied to an apartment to the apartments that we lived in prior to us getting kicked out. And the first time I remember I think I was just scared because I knew I didn't have good credit, but something when I finally was at the lowest, it was like, well, it's not like what else, just take the no. So just waste if you don't have it. One of my brothers, who's not even my real brother, but is my brother, has been my brother since I was a kid, was one of the only people out of my family on my father's side at the time that sent me money when I asked. Like, hey, I'm going through some shit. Can y'all help me? I think one of my sisters sent me like $40, and then he had sent me $150. And I remember that $150 was what put gas in my car, and it was paid for me to apply to this apartment. And I used like a HUD certificate that I did not even have, but I got to pay the remaining balance later. So I was able to pay that fee, the application fee, and it got approved. Pay the rest of it later when I got to Virginia. So on my way to the homeless shelter, I get the call from that apartment like, hey, you got approved. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. When can I move in? They're like 2 days. So I called the guy and he's like, yeah, like, you know, you come stay with me. Where he stayed was not really a place that you would want to stay. I call it the trap house, but not a place that you would want to stay. So luckily, again, I'm glad I was just by myself. So I stayed there for 2 days. I think it was like 2 days. Started making some moves, getting some stuff done, handling some things in Virginia, and started moving into my new place. Granted, I did not have a job, so I don't know how I got approved into that place. I did not have any income really coming in. Then I finally landed a job at Massage Envy at the time. I lost the job because my husband decided to go out of town and go on a vacation, I think to like England or some shit. And it made me lose my job because I had to watch my daughter. I didn't know about any of this. I couldn't plan for it. So I lost my job there. Then I ended up getting the job back because I, explained to them what was going on. But then I lost it again because I sold my car because I was still not making enough money to pay for my rent. So many different things were happening, y'all. There's so many things that happened because in the midst of this apartment I got approved for, I never actually got to pay the rent there. Never had the income really come in, but I had a place to stay for like 2 or 3 months for free. And then when the eviction started coming out, I went to court. I was so scared, y'all. I was like, oh my God, I do not want to get evicted. Like, God, what is going on? Like, you got to come through. So, but Spirit kept saying, go to the court. Like, I did not want to go. But before I had got a speeding ticket, like a few weeks, months or something before. And at that speeding ticket, I remember I had that same feeling of I did not want to go to court. But Spirit said, go. And when I got there, it got dropped because the person didn't show up. The officer didn't show up. So I'm like, okay, Spirit is saying, you never know how I could bless you. You just got to show up. Don't be scared. So believe in your protection. So I'm like, okay. I'm scared as a mug. Like, I'm going to this eviction court, whatever is going to happen. So I get there, and I don't even remember anymore because my memory's so bad. But I just remember I never got evicted. I just remember when I got there, they gave me the option to just break my lease. They allowed me to go to my leasing office and just break it without having the eviction on me or somehow. I don't know how that happened, why they did that, but I took the blessing. So, but when I go and do that, they're switching. Someone had bought out the company. Someone had bought out my apartment. So long story short, I don't even know if I have that debt. I don't know what happened. I never got charged. Things never came to me anymore. I just got to move out. They switched companies. They broke my lease. Like, blessings just magically happened. I don't know. I moved into a luxury apartment that I got to move into with my business because Spirit told me, you have a business. So I moved into these luxury apartments. I've been living here for years. However, that's been a journey on its own. But yeah, so that's how I went homeless. That's how I went homeless. I hope that really answers the question. I don't know. That was a lot, but it felt good to just talk about into the abyss, into the nothingness where a whole bunch of people will watch later and then know all my business. But I can finally release all that. Like, it's so old news now. But yeah, I lost it all. I lost it all because why? I guess because I wasn't good at saving my money. Long story short, I was not good at saving my money. I should have saved my money. I should have been better at investing. I should have been better at making sure that I was good. Like, I was just in la la land, I guess. And honestly, I needed it. I needed to go homeless. I needed to go at rock bottom. I needed to be taught this lesson because I was in la la land. I was. That's the only best way I can say it. And now it's teaching me how to manage my money. It's teaching me how to, really that. I just gotta say managing my money better now because at first, all I really had to do was manage my business and manage like my life and massages and gas. So I had a huge wake up call of having to like get my life back together and yeah. But it was embarrassing. It is embarrassing, but it's life and I got through it. I'm still getting through it and I know that I'm gonna keep making it through. So it is what it is. But God has blessed me the whole time. God has covered me the whole time. God was with me the whole time. And it is a blessing because it revealed to me everyone who was really there for me and everyone who wasn't. Because in the midst of this, all I can say is I have been blessed. Blessed with blessings, blessed with, because at one point, in order for me to move into this luxury apartment, I had to sell the car that my husband bought me. My husband bought me a car when we were married. It was paid off and everything. Loved it. Loved my car. Loved Badu, my little black Honda Civic. But I was told to sell her, flip her, and that got me a laptop back. I was able to get a laptop. I was able to move into a new apartment. I was able to buy furniture for that new apartment. And I went without a car for about 6-7 months, and then I was blessed with $5,000 cash from family that allowed me to buy a brand new car in cash and still have a little bit extra to start, putting it away into savings and, just getting out of that hole that I was in. So, and that's just one of the blessings. Like when I say once I started asking for help, and there was times where I've asked for help from family and I was told no. And that made me want to like block myself, like, okay, I just got to keep figuring out, but I didn't. I mean, I did, but I didn't. I kept putting myself out there and asking help. And then family that I thought wouldn't want to talk to me or deal with me because of my mom and shit that's happened in the past. I'm like, wow, I don't want to go to family that I haven't even talked to asking for help. Like, what the fuck? But helped me, has guided me, has held my hand, has supported me. I mean, I don't know. So it's just been a blessing. It's been a healing process for me, for real. But yeah. I'm trying to think if there's more or anything. I don't know. Like, if you have questions, I guess comment. If you got some shit to talk, comment, but yeah, shit happens. Your girl lost it all. Just thinking life was sweet and I was happily married and I don't know. Girl was dumb. Your girl was dumb. Your girl was dumb. Real dumb. But I'm starting it up. I hope. I'm getting there. So, yeah. And I send love to all those people that I have lost in the process. I really pray for their healing. I forgive you guys. I forgive myself. Like, the biggest person I really had to forgive was myself through all of this, because I know at the end of the day, I put myself here. But at the end of the day, we all are human and we have fuck ups. And I think we all deserve that, going through things like this, that we should have community and we should have support. We should have people that will even support us at our worst and when we fuck up, and tell us, hey, you're fucking up, but I got you, and this is what you need to do to get out of it. Not shame us, not gossip about us, not push us out, not, you know, push away and hurt and stomp on the people that have loved you and supported you the most through your life at their worst. Like, it sucks to have always been the strong friend for years, and then the moment that I'm like crumbling, everyone is like enjoying the show. So I continue to allow people to watch the show. Like, going through my worst, I still continue to post. I still continue to be up here. I've continued to heal in front of the world, honestly, whether it be through singing really terribly, whether it be through writing, whether it be through sharing and being ugly some days, like, you know, cutting my hair, going through my stages. Like, I'm allowed that space. I'm allowed that space because I'm human. And I think through this process too, it's just allowed me to really realize that I want someone that can love me at my worst. I want people that are gonna love me at my worst, so that when I'm at my best, it just feels like they're deserving of that person, you know? Like, I don't want people to only expect me to always be at my best, to only want me at my best, to always look at my best. Like, I want love in all of my phases. So I don't know. All I can say, I'm just so grateful for the journey. I'm so grateful for the process. I'm so grateful that I got through it. I'm so grateful for the guidance. I'm so grateful for the connection that I've built and gained through God and my ancestors and my spirit guides and my angels. I'm grateful for the community I built. I'm grateful for the new friends, for the family. I'm just grateful to see clearly. I'm just grateful for the new life that's been unfolding for me. Whew, so that's how I went homeless, y'all. And that's part of some of my story of what the fuck has been happening in my life. And I hope it brings y'all some clarity. I hope it helps heal. I hope it helps something. I don't know. I don't give two shits. I just know that it helped me to just talk about it, to get it off my spirit, my chest, to put it out there into this world, and hopefully continue to just keep letting it go, because I have been feeling freer and freer and freer. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tapping in with me, watching this long ass video. I love you guys. And if you're just here because you want to be nosy and be a hater, I love you too. And thank you for that energy, because it's always transmuted into love and prosperity and protection for me and my family and my daughter. So thank you. But I still send you love and healing, and I pray that you find healing in your heart. But again, for those of you that are just here because you love and support me and you want to know my journey, I'm so grateful that you've been here. I'm so grateful that you love me through my worst, because I'm not at my best, and I've still been a fucking badass bitch, if you ask me. So thank you for being here. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Have an amazing day.
Fear doesn't live here. I know my blessings are near.